Thanks for staying with us. Now we continue with our conversation. Dams running dry and constant leaks. The Nelson Mandela Bay municipality may soon find itself in a serious drought. This has been a growing concern since 2016, and yet little has been done to find solutions. It's now 2022, and we're once again heading towards what seems to be day zero. Founder and chairperson of Gift of the Givers, eNCA Suleiman, joins us now as well to be part of this conversation. We're also joined by the South African Human Rights Commission Limpopo manager, Victor, as well as the director of Water and Sanitation at Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, Barry, as well as Amnesty International, Sibusiso. So let's continue our conversation. Barry, perhaps let's go to you and just get a clearer sense of what the plan is going forward. And I know you previously mentioned the fact that the situation is very dire, but do we have timeframes of when day zero is actually going to hit Nelson Mandela Bay?
Good evening once again. Firstly, we do daily analysis of what the dam levels are, so we are aware exactly of how much water is in our dams at any point in time. Secondly is we do weekly analysis to see how much that storage effectively is, because as you can appreciate, the water that's in the dam, all that water is not accessible when it comes to the low levels of the dam. And depending on the topography below the water level, that also influences how much water you can take out of the dam. And based on that information, we basically have less than 2% of our physical water storage in the dams that's actually available to us. And these dams are actually so low already, especially in Limpopo Dam. For the last more than a year already, we had a floating barge on the dam with submersible pumps on that, through which we have been extracting water. And unfortunately, you indicated what is our plans, and the time slot allowed for us today is not sufficient to actually go through that elaborate presentation that we actually have on what is being done. Obviously, fixing leaks is top of the pile. Encouraging people to save water is also a focal point. We have been brought water in from Nooitgedacht. The completion of Nooitgedacht Phase 3 has been a high priority. However, knowing that that project was still under construction, we've made available the use of the most available untreated water and constructed a temporary treatment facility about 2 years ago, from which we have been using up to recently to actually treat between 30 and 50 megaliters of water per day from that scheme. Likewise, we've been effectively rezoning the whole metropolitan water supply system to make the most effective use of the water that we are able to get from the Nooitgedacht scheme, meaning the water that comes from the Garib Dam. So this is just probably a handful of items that I've just raised now that the municipality has been working on over the last 2-3 years already to bring things to fruition. So the indication that's given that the Metro has done nothing, I would beg to differ with that. And having said that, also I know you have got Dr. Suleiman on as well, and we have been developing permanent groundwater projects as well, which from July to September onwards, we will be bringing about 30 megaliters of water on stream as well. So these are the work that has been going on behind the scenes, maybe not published well enough, but this has been going on behind the scenes to do the work and to ensure that our customers have water on a sustainable basis. However, to save water is obviously top priority.
Certainly. I do want to say that I'm sure the municipality is doing all it can to try and assist residents, businesses and whoever else might be affected. But at the end of the day, people look at the situation and go, why don't I have enough water? Of course, climate change also comes into all of this. I want to just quickly bring in Victor from the South African Human Rights Commission in Limpopo. And I want to speak about the role that municipalities and government must play to get water to very remote villages in Limpopo. And the reason why I ask this is because last year there was a multi-million rand project that was supposed to provide water through JoJo tanks, and it seems as though a lot of that money was mismanaged, and there was an investigation that was ongoing, if I'm not mistaken. But it just seems as though the people of Limpopo, especially in many of the villages, have to subject themselves to getting water through JoJo tanks that are often only filled once a month. And that surely, Victor, should not be the way of life and the way people need to get water into their homes. It should be coming through a tap, should it not?
Yeah, you are very correct. I must say that when I finished up talking, you were talking about the issue of having another talk show. When we are saying that we are going to engage the provincial government, it means that we have done a lot to make sure that the water authority, more especially the district municipalities, deliver water to our people, and they are failing. And I can give an example. When we talk about we engage with the Department of Water Affairs in the province, nationally, that is responsible for the dam, for Nandoni Dam in particular. They indicated that they pump water to the dam. And when they pump water to the dam, the municipality must take water from pump water from the dam to the reservoirs, and the municipality must take water from the reservoirs to the household in the village, to the villages. But it's the municipality that is really failing to take water to those villages. We also have reservoirs that are not working. We don't even know that there's no reason why those reservoirs are not being used. We are having a lot of challenges that. I mean, when we engage the municipalities, it sounds like it's naturally, they are coming naturally, but there are man-created problems that must be resolved. We also look at the issue of the issue regarding the amount of water, the megaliters that has to be produced by Nandoni Dam is producing 60 megaliters, but the story that we get when we're investigating is not really accurate. So we also find when we talk about the wasting water through leakages and everything, the leaks that are there, even in the municipality's office, there's water that is running like as if it's a river stream there. But the mayor, the municipality manager, they are both there. They are passing that water on a daily basis. They are doing nothing about it. So how can we keep on blaming people? You go to another government building, water is leaking, no one is doing anything. Yeah. Go to the Home Affairs offices in Basa, the Makwarela. You'll find that water is leaking 24 hours, but no one is doing anything. So how do we then talk about us not having water, whereas we are wasting water? We are not even repairing or trying to stop leakages. So it's a mess that has been created by the municipality and must be resolved.
And it's interesting you point to that, and perhaps Sibusiso can answer this from Amnesty International. You know, for example, when you go to Limpopo, the dam is very full, and everybody's saying, but why don't people in Limpopo have water? If you come here to Gauteng, for example, the Vaal Dam is very full, but now we have water restrictions, and it just seems as though it's problem after problem. And while many say that we have enough water in this country and we aren't a water scarce country, why are South Africans subjected to, for example, water restrictions or please save water, which everybody should save water, doesn't matter how much water you actually have. But it almost seems as though the failures of repairing the infrastructure, making sure that your pipes are proper so that there aren't massive leaks, falls onto residents and businesses who are consumers of the water.
You say, Heidi, listening to my colleague in Limpopo, you can tell that the story is the same no matter where you go in South Africa. It's that you have, it points to one thing, which is lack of accountability. So you have people who are there sitting in those particular positions who are supposed to be making sure that things, they provide services, particularly when it relates to things that are crucial as water, which is a basic human right. You find that they are not doing what they are supposed to be doing, and there's no one who's taking action in terms of making sure that they are being held accountable. Because the story is the same in almost every part of South Africa. Because even if you look at the recent floods in KZN, you had people who stayed without water for even now. In fact, some of them, like in places like Chonga, you'll find that people are still struggling to get access to water. And it's not only about a matter of just the response from the government in terms of in terms of responding effectively to the floods, but it's also a matter of people not making sure that they do their jobs in terms of responding to people's problems, particularly when it comes to water. Because when we were there in KZN, you had people who said that mainly they were relying on private businesses, like business people would be the ones to provide them with water, because government was not sufficiently responding to the problem. Sometimes they would tell you that you'll find just one water tank coming maybe a week. So those stories that you hear from people, they indicate that those who are in positions, they need to be held accountable.
Sure. Let's perhaps wrap up this conversation. Barry, perhaps in the last 30 seconds that we have with you, just maybe tell us what the week ahead looks like, and perhaps what residents, businesses and all affected in the Eastern Cape can expect for the week ahead.
Thank you, Heidi. I foresee the week ahead going to be a very rough week because our indications last week already indicated that we had about 8 days water storage still left within Churchill Dam in particular. And the assessment that we'll do tomorrow morning will give us a greater indication of where that is going to go, number one. Secondly, also there's been some local rain that has fallen, so we'll be able to see what the impact thereof is, although it takes about 2 or 3 days to see the impact of any runoff into the dams. Obviously, we'll be continuing with our leak repair program. Our colleagues from the Gift of the Givers are drilling extra boreholes. We've also supplied them with some information of historic boreholes that we have drilled, but not equipped because they don't give significant water. But for an emergency, this would be sufficient that could be developed further. So we have shared our plans with them, and they are assisting us in some strategic areas that we have identified. We are also bringing more contractors on board just to deal with one of the leak repair programs that we have. And we are having just awarded a contract last week, in fact, another contract to assist us with moving the barge. As I indicated earlier on, that the barge on the Limpopo Dam can't remove the water anymore by the intake tower where it is located. We can reposition that and also move another barge to the Churchill Dam at the same time. There's still at least 2 weeks of work left to make these things work. So the next 10 to 15 days lying ahead is going to be quite significant for the Nelson Mandela Bay.
Okay,
thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll definitely be checking in. I wish we could continue this conversation, but unfortunately we've run out of time. Thank you all so much for being part of this very important conversation. That was Sibusiso Khasa from Amnesty International, the South African human rights victor Mavhidula, and Barry Martin from the Nelson Mandela municipality. Thank you so much for your time.